Welcome to episode 3 of the K-pop deep dive series where my friend G and I explore the world of K-pop. In our last episode, we closed by saying that we should discuss child exploitation in the K-pop industry, and we have not failed you. In this episode, we shed some light on some very questionable behaviors and systems in K-pop, such as the trainee industry and giving underage individuals inappropriate songs to perform to, and we basically discussed its ethics and what can be done going forward. If you're a K-pop fan, you might feel a little bit attacked, especially if your faves are underage, but I implore you to think a little deeper and give this episode a shot. If you like to have a little bit more of a visual element to the content you consume, we have a YouTube channel called Head in the Clouds Podcast. Go look us up on there. You can also find us on Instagram at the Head in the Clouds Show. The S does not repeat. If you like the episode, consider subscribing or following us. It really does mean a lot. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy your stay. Ba-dum, ba-dum. I thought we could start it out easy since it's the end of the year. If we would just want to talk about K-pop in general, what's the music you've been listening to? Who are some people you've been following up with?
Well, hmm. This is kind of directly related to the topic, though.
Mm,
So,
go for it.
I am having a hard time. There have been a bunch of girl groups that have debuted recently,
Mm.
and I am having a hard time supporting a group that is entirely made of teenagers. I
Yeah,
can't do it.
yeah.
I can't do it. It's weird.
It is really weird. I think when you're younger, it definitely seems different when you're like their age or younger than them, and then you think of them as like, fully grown individuals. But now you realize that actually it's crazy. And also, I always have wondered why it's not considered like child labor.
I don't know the extent of the child labor laws in South
Very
Korea
true.
because if I did that would be kind of insane of me to know all of that information.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they have some protections in place.
Right. So when I was looking it up, it seems that some of the protections that they have specifically are catered to, minors in the entertainment industry. So they have like special rules for them. So one of
Okay.
the rules is that they have to go home and they can't like, work overnight kind of thing. Which is why like during those award ceremonies, you'll sometimes see like underage idols get ushered off before, the event ends because they have to be home by a certain time, which I think is just crazy. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, shouldn't that be such a jarring indication that like these people shouldn't be here in general, that they have to be brought home? Like that they have like a curfew as working people?
God, hold on, let me find the group real quick. I have a bunch of different groups pages up right now that I've been looking at.
I heard rumors about another new like JYP group.
Yep, Extraordinary Heroes.
They look really talented. Like I heard like I saw a clip of them singing and stuff.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a band, kind of
Oh,
like Day6 tradition.
kind of cute, I
I guess
guess.
maybe to distract from all of the J6 controversy,
Really? I
but
haven't heard. Tell me.
it's just Jay from the group.
Oh, right. He's like acting out. No, I'm kidding. No, I do follow streamers. Well, I don't follow them closely, but I watch like clips sometimes. And the stories that I hear of Jay are wild. He's like drinking, like doing a lot. Like drinking's fine, but like he's like going pretty ham, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty chill if you see Jay in the context of, just someone hanging out in America, but like kind of crazy."
Yeah, I think the problem is that he's been saying a lot of stuff on Twitter
Uh-huh.
about his other members
Oh,
and
damn.
about management and shit.
Yeah.
So they're trying desperately to distract. I mean, he basically I think said in a few tweets that they're not in contact with each other.
Oh,
He has talked a lot about his experience in the idol industry.
good for
And I'm
him.
sure, yeah, I'm sure a lot of what he said was true, but
Mm.
also the way he kind of phrases it when he streams is that no one is necessarily really talented. It's all
Oh,
kind of, everyone is hand selected for the image and no one really works hard, I guess.
oh,
So that's been kind of rubbing people the wrong way.
right, of course.
So we'll see how that
Hot
goes.
take.
Yeah. I lost the boy group that I was looking at.
Not Omega X.
No. At least the youngest member of Omega X is 20 years old.
Oh, okay.
So that's good,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that I found out recently, well, kind of recently, was that, that song Adult Ceremony? that like a
Yeah,
lot of people cover. So like I never really like thought much into it. It's like an okay song, you know, the dance is kind of fire kind of thing. But the whole like premise of that song is about a girl coming of age and like I'm an adult now, like you should see me as an adult kind of thing. And it was written, I think, by a man, you know, and given off to like, you know, the singer right after she like became legal. Basically just really like crazy to think about it and like how idols today like sometimes they perform this song when they become of age and it's just really bizarre cuz like think of like adult ceremony or coming of age ceremony. It's and like the whole song is very sensual. It's basically
right,
saying like you can take me now, I guess.
right. It's no longer illegal to have sex with me.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Here, I'll look up the lyrics specifically. The lyrics are wild. The first verse goes, "Hey you, why are you hesitating? I know you want me right now in front of you. I know what you want, what you're waiting for, so just come here. I'm not that little girl you used to know. Girl, you just turned." Okay, anyways. "I'm a woman now. I'm thankful that you waited for me. Now I'll become a woman at your kiss." Isn't that insane? That people are
Yeah,
like
I don't like
singing
that.
this still and like I when I first heard the song, I was like, yeah, that's pretty lit. You know, I saw, you know, that cover Jimin, I think, and like Jungkook did, you know, and I think that's what propelled this song to more like recognition because a lot of people are BTS fans. But yeah, especially seeing women perform it, I'm just like, oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's not taking charge of the narrative, believe it or not.
I think there's a lot to just be said in general. I know we were supposed to start it off light, but you know what? Fuck
I
it.
know, I know.
We always do this. I think there's a lot to be said about like the culture of youth, not just in South Korea, but in every
Mm.
country.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like 30 is old.
Yeah, Irene.
It's so old for K-pop. It's ancient.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to and like you can't look 30 either, you know? You
Oh
have to
no,
look
no one
like
can look 30.
exponentially younger.
But I don't know if we're talking about misogyny on this episode. But if we are, we can talk about how
It definitely is a
girl
part of it.
groups, yeah, the 7 year curse and how
Mm,
pretty much all girl groups disband after 7 years
yeah.
and only the good groups die young. And then the fact that boy groups can keep making music until the sun explodes, I
Yeah, like
guess.
even after they've gone to like military and all of that, like people wait for them. It's insane.
It's baffling to me that they'll be like, "Oh, we're disbanding this girl group because they either want to pursue other projects or like they're just not making enough money anymore."
Yeah.
But you can sustain having individual activities for a group while
Mm,
other members are in the military.
yeah.
And it's fine. Like EXO is doing right now. They just have every time they have a comeback, they just gather up whoever the fuck is around and not in the military and they're like, "Okay, you guys are a group right now."
Mm-hmm. But I think
Mhm.
in K-pop specifically, when people turn 30 or like get older and stuff, they often want to move into like acting, which I guess
Yeah.
is more lenient because you get to act someone as someone who's 30, you know, you get to like get roles that are of older people. So it kind of works out. But it's kind of sad, which I don't know, like I've been thinking about like how like K-pop as an industry is honestly a like a barrier to artistry than it is to like welcome it, to enable it, kind of thing.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, because I think, you know, so many talented artists often have to go through this, like whether they're dancers or singers or something, who just want to get like acclaim. Like, of course, they can go like normal routes and like do just normal music and like try to gain success as like a solo artist kind of thing, but it's never going to amount to the kind of like viral acclaim that like K-pop groups get and the kind of love and adoration kind of thing. And oftentimes even when you're a solo artist like Ailee, like she's
Mhm.
amazing. I love her voice. But like she often maybe she loves dancing. I don't know her. But she has to, you know, do that as well in order to have people care more. But honestly her voice is like so amazing. Like she's actually so good at singing. But, you know, oftentimes you have to go through this system in order to get acclaim. Like for example, thinking about BTS in the early days. They never really wanted to do this. And like, of course, you can say, well, you know, it's fate. It works out miraculously, you know. But the point is, they didn't want this. You know, in the beginning, they wanted to do hip hop type of stuff. They didn't want to go out dancing. So they had, like, in their minds, they had to go through this in order to have the justification to do what they actually want. At least that's how it seemed like to me. In fact, I think that a lot of this, like having to become a trainee and all of that, it's like deterring good music, I think, because like it just becomes so much of an industrialized thing. Like I'm not saying scouting kind of stuff works better, if you know what I mean. Like, but I think in the West, at least, it's a lot more about it is a tiny bit more organic, in my opinion. Of course, there's still a lot of factors that play in, like having money, blah blah blah, having connections, but you know.
I think that okay, so we've talked about this a little bit. Every
Mhm.
entertainment industry in every country is exploitative by nature, just because it's
Mhm.
an entertainment industry. That's what they do, and every industry in every country is exploitative of minors.
Yep.
If you go through the history of American pop culture in the past 20 years, you can see a bunch of very clear examples of here you see it more in TV. Like you see it more like Nickelodeon stars who were acting from a very young age, or like Britney Spears who became famous
Mm.
at a young age.
Mhm.
You see how that really affects the rest of their lives in some really interesting ways.
In some awful ways, yeah.
Yeah, Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears, all these
Mhm.
people who get into the industry at a very young age and then they continue and they evolve to go into music.
Mhm.
So it's actually interesting. Western cultures seems to be the other way. They start
Right.
out in acting and then they go to music,
Yeah.
whereas in the K-pop industry they start in music and they go to acting. It's very interesting.
Yeah. That is true. I think you often see more older women as well in media and film outside of the US. Like even in like British media and films, you often see a lot more like older talents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the US, especially when it comes to women, it's always like gotta be that like kind of James Bond-esque lady type of person, you know, like there are I feel like if you don't become a star when you're young, you aren't really allowed back into the entertainment industry. You can't like debut as an old person in America, specifically in Hollywood.
So I think that the idea that South Korea is like inherently more exploitative than other countries, I think, is like kind of a racist idea. And
Mm-hmm.
people are like, "Oh no, how can you listen to K-pop? They treat people horribly. How can you support it?" It's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, but like a lot of entertainment industries is. I
Yep.
think why people get that impression sometimes though is that like the child trainees are so visible.
Yes. The
Like you
trainee
have
system
a
is crazy.
yeah, you have an established system where there's a lot of information online about like the number of trainees, their ages, and everyone who debuts, they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been a trainee for 10 years." And it's like, you're 22.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
don't like it.
Mm-hmm. It's really sad. And okay, here's what I think about the trainee system. I think it's very dumb and very, I don't know. I think it's very cruel to people because they I think we've talked about this as well, but it's basically, you know, commodifying like human beings, seeing them as like, you know, kind of like these products that are replaceable. Because it's like they're gonna get like maybe 10, 20, 30 trainees, right? They have like these auditions and everything. But I'm telling you, like only a very small percentage of that is gonna get through. But these girls, you're like giving them dreams and they're gonna work, or like not just girls but people, young people, and you're giving them all these dreams and stuff, but only a very small fraction of them are actually going to make it big. And I think it's very sad to continue to like make it seem that if they work hard they're gonna get there, you know what I mean? Like, and it's I don't know, because like, you know, sometimes I go on YouTube and I see like these shows that are talking to like idol trainees, and like you don't know them, like they are just random people, and you're like, you're never gonna make it, like I'm never gonna see you in a well-known group, and it's really sad that I have to see you here and know of your existence and know that you're not gonna make it.
Even people who come like right below the cutoff for a survival show or
Mm-hmm.
something,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they do really well in solo careers, but sometimes you never see them again.
Yeah, never. I like one of the only people that I can think of that has like continued to make it big is Soyeon from G Idol. I don't know. I think the trainee system makes it seem that if you work super duper hard, like you're gonna make it, and then it's just like all of these like super young kids go through it and they see it as like camp, as like I don't know, self-enrichment. I don't know. They see it as like something for their dreams when in actuality it's just a job. It's a job. It's a job, and they're not being compensated for it, and then they're seeing this as like if they get chosen it's like a miracle, it's a dream come true, when actually it's deserved because they're putting in the hours and the work, and in the meritocracy that should be enough, but it's not.
It reminds me kind of the concept of the unpaid internship,
Mm,
except people who get unpaid internships are legally adults.
right.
But again, it's the idea that so you're being exploited as a trainee by your company because like
Mm-hmm.
they use them as background dancers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have to pay for classes, they sign contracts, that kind of shit. But you're also hoping eventually to be able to get something out of it because you'll end up in a group and then you'll be like a world famous group member.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a very small chance of people, like you said, who actually make it into the groups.
Yeah.
So there's not like an equal return on what people are getting when they become trainees. But
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to tell people that and be like, let's look at the odds here.
I
You know,
know, I
because nobody
know.
wants to hear that, especially when you're like 13, 14, if you want to be a musician.
I know.
It's hard.
Yeah. In those audition programs as well, survival programs, it's like they always like have this message about like, oh, all of our dreams connects us, like what, like we're gonna make it together kind of shit. And it's like, what? Like, I don't know if you've seen this as well, but there's like, all this conspiracy about like how Mnet and all of these like other networks always makes like this very talented girl underperform in the beginning, or like underwhelm them and like make them seem like give them less screen time and stuff to make it seem like they're not so good. But then towards the end, they kind of give them like a, wait, where have you been like all this time? You're a hidden gem kind of thing. And then like start like shooting them, like filming them and like putting them on screen for like much longer, and to give them like this redemption arc slash like hidden gem kind of like story, this narrative. And it's just really funny to me.
I don't even know if that's a conspiracy theory. I
I
think that
think
just
that's
might be like
truth.
straight up what they
Yeah.
do, you know? I mean, I've heard conspiracy theories that every group is preformed before the show even starts, but I don't
Right.
know if that's true. I don't think it
Yeah.
can be true in some circumstances.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're not these idols, we don't know them, but I do know
Mm-hmm.
from like enough interviews that I've seen of groups who've been formed through survival shows, they do not like talking about it.
Yeah.
Especially ones who got formed like a few years ago. I don't know if the conditions are better now, but like
Mm.
Twice does not like to talk about their time on the survival show. Monster X does
Yeah.
not like to talk about their time on the survival show.
Yeah.
I think it's a very stressful and in some ways a very traumatic experience
Mm-hmm.
for idols to go through. And it's like there's fucking 15-year-olds on these.
Exactly. And like to be on
And
screen and to do all of this stuff, it's yeah.
God, I know that like I'm a privacy hound and not everybody thinks about this the same way, but like you're 15 years old and all of your failures and successes and like your singing and your dancing, if you screw up, if they make a comment about your weight, it's on national television with
Yeah.
your face and your
Mm-hmm.
name when you're 15 years old. It's hard to take that one back.
When I think of Twice, especially because of how overworked they are, I always like whenever like I hear them or like see interviews of them, I always wonder if they're actually living a robust life. Like I'm not trying to like baby them or like be all like patronizing and stuff, but
Oh, did you see
I
they
don't
came back
know.
again?
I know, and they're having a Japanese release this month.
Donut. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's count how many comebacks they've had actually, because
How
I'm
much
curious.
money are they generating for
Just
JYP?
this year alone. Now I'm curious because you're right. I definitely think they're overworked. And I'm really glad that members of groups recently have been allowed to take time off because of
Mm.
anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like God, I'm so sorry, but Jung Young from Twice and then
Mm.
Mingi from ATEEZ have both taken time off recently and Mina from Twice before that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm really glad that they're allowing more members to not be part of promotions. But
Mm-hmm.
have you ever considered that maybe if one member is taking time off for anxiety, maybe every comeback, that it's not so much maybe the members, but more of the situation that you've placed them in?
Yeah, it's
You know?
so insane. Like, and I think Twice is just such a clear example of like this whole like industrial machine kind of thing. You forget about it because they come back and they're so cute and fun. But like, they came from like a survival program, and then they're having so many ridiculous comebacks. I don't think any of them are really. I mean, I know some of them get some creative control sometimes with like music videos and stuff like that, because I think the Perfect World music video was like crediting one of the members for it, but I don't know, like it's just like how much do they enjoy it?
Yeah,
It
hold on.
seems
This
like they
is
have to sacrifice a lot to do like the things that I enjoy. For example, I know Momo likes to dance, she loves dancing, but it feels like she has to sacrifice like so much to do that, to just dance.
yeah, they're averaging 5 comebacks a year and they have been for 3 years.
Perfect World, The Scientist recently, The Feels.
Alcohol free,
Oh my god, right, alcohol free.
donut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know the time that it comes into a comeback. We talked about this a little bit with the idea of like Western artists take a lot more time to produce albums and
Mm-hmm.
create work, but also Western artists a lot of times their main product is the album and then maybe a music video and the
Yep.
tour.
Yep.
When a girl group or a boy group has a comeback, it's like they have to record the album.
Mm-hmm.
They have to record if they use recordings for live stages, they have to do that. And then they're performing, they're
Yep.
promoting, actively promoting for months,
On the
depending on
music
the group.
shows, yeah.
So they're dressing up, they're going to music shows all the time. They're
Going
sometimes
to
doing
variety programs.
variety programs. They film the music video. A lot of times they do like dance practice videos or like a cute version of a dance practice. I know ITZY especially is notorious. They have like a wide dance practice
Mm.
released, and then they have like one that changes focus on the members, which is really great if you're
Mm.
trying to learn the dances. But like all of this is a lot of time and work
Right.
and energy.
Yeah.
And then that's not even counting like special promotions. Like for the Asian and Music Awards, ITZY just released a dance video for all the stuff they did to prepare for that.
Yeah, dude, their performances are always amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and award season is upon us, so a lot of people are doing new and different things for the
Yeah.
award season. And it's just
Hmm.
like all of this takes so much time.
But I have something to say. Have you seen BTS's like performance of like My Universe with Coldplay? It was so boring. Okay, that's just an aside that I had.
They got a collaboration with Megan Thee Stallion. It makes me so angry from the
Hmm.
bottom of my heart. I'm like, Megan, you deserve better. Controversial opinion. I know there's BTS fans that listen to this, but
It's
you hate
fine.
it.
No, the thing is, I heard like Cardi B talk about them as well. Cardi B was talking about like how her kid loves their music, and you know what her justification of it was? She was saying that like, oh, because BTS music is so fun and kid friendly. Like, I just imagine going 10 years back in time and telling like Suga that like his music is gonna be like fun bops and kid friendly. I feel like he would be so like sad. No
Yeah,
offense.
you mean because he was like an underground rap star or
I
whatever?
know. I feel
Yeah,
like they
it's
deserve better.
the person who said it's like a famous TikTok where it's like a BTS song playing. I think it was Dynamite, and they're like, "Why does this sound like the end of Secret Life of Pets 2? Like
Yeah.
theme music? What's worse, like the BTS kid friendly, so vapid it's basically meaningless, like watered down music, or the
Mm-hmm.
noise music that's infecting the industry where it's literally just like a garbage disposal and a bunch of cans slammed together."
It's called innovation actually.
Have you listened to Sticker?
I don't listen to any NCT stuff, so the only reasons like why I've listened to NCT songs is in full is because of you, I think. No
Yeah.
offense, I have an NCT fans here as well.
What were we talking about before we got distracted? You're gonna have to do so much editing. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. Child exploitation stuff. I had a thought, but it kind of just disappeared.
We were talking about how
Um,
Twice is so busy. Why are you getting?
right. I was thinking of Jenny as well. I don't know if you've seen Jenny living out like her best life over in the States.
Yeah, good for her.
I know. And it's like I'm so happy for her and like being able to have all this freedom, but she must have been feeling like so like suffocated before this that now she's going all out. And it's like the same for like a lot of like K-pop idols and trainees and stuff. They have to give up so much of like their childhood freedom and stuff because there's like all this like no dating rules and whatever, and you have to like try to just live as untouched of a life as possible. Like you can't like really do anything that's like too much. You can't bully people, first of all. uh
Hey, burn.
yeah, but no, like you have to be like so just clean. You have to have like a clean slate kind of thing.
I can look right now, not to go back to privacy, but so there's a JYP trainees group. That's their temporary name. They were
Mm.
formed on the 2020 SBS reality show Boys Be Loud.
Hmm.
And I'm looking at the profile of their youngest member, Lee Donghyun. His blood type is A.
Oh, cute.
His MBTI is ESFP.
Oh, can't relate.
His talents are singing, dancing, ice hockey, and poetry.
Wow.
And then the next fucking bullet point of this profile says he is in 8th grade.
Oh my god.
He's fucking 14 years old.
Okay. Okay,
And this
girl.
information is publicly available before they've even debuted.
Yeah. I think okay. Okay, as a child, I did have like groups that I listened to that were like children. Like these are like Chinese groups or something. But they were designed to be like children groups. Like they sang like very cute like Chinese New Year songs. You know what I mean? Like they weren't active. They just like sometimes release like Christmas music kind of thing. It's like Kids Bop, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like just like more fun and like attractive, like have fans and stuff. But like this 14-year-old, I'm sure, is being expected to do all this like very grueling choreography and like very not very age appropriate stuff as well. And it's
Oh, do
just
you want to talk
like,
about Ive?
oh, with Won Young and what's her name from Izone. Tell me about them.
Well, I can tell you just now, looking at their profile, that their name is from the English contraction I have, so Ive.
Oh.
And they debuted with a mature concept
Excuse me,
2
mature?
years ago. Well, it's not like sexy,
No, but
but it's
like,
very much like mature, like adult sounding.
why?
Their oldest member is 19, and guess how young their youngest member is?
Was it also like 14?
She's fucking 14 years old.
Yeah.
And she is a debuted girl group member
You
with
know
a
what?
mature concept.
You know what? I actually have listened to this to their song. I listened to it a little bit when it came out. I always feel so like I'm doing something very very dark and wrong whenever I see any like videos, gifs, photos of Won Young. Cause she, okay, first of all, she has a baby face, and I know how young she is, but also she's very tall. But like she has like this like very innocent demeanor about her. Like her eyes go like wide, and then she like, oh my god, I just feel so wrong when I see that because I just know that like so many people are gonna like try to take that out of context and like think bad things about her. You know, like
I don't even want to watch the music video or listen to the song because I'm like,
yeah,
you were all teenagers. I'm gonna put
yeah,
myself in jail.
yeah, literally.
I don't. I mean, she's on here. This is publicly available information. Her full name, her nickname, her height, her weight, her
Oh my
hometown,
god.
her hobbies, and all this shit. And it's like,
People love looking up the cup sizes of female idols as well. It's kind of weird.
first of all, that makes me want to scream and shout
Yeah.
and punch someone in the face. But also, I mean, how different can it be? I'm sorry.
Right. Stop. Yeah,
Y'all are
no.
A's or B's. There's nothing there.
Mhm.
But not to undercut the fact that, yeah, that's a very serious and fucked up thing that people do.
Mhm.
She's in
And
8th grade.
I don't know why that is though. Like, are they just trying to juice out more years for female idols? You know, so like get them started young so they can have a longer career kind of thing. Or is it like the entertainment industry, like fans, male fans in particular, just have would pay more money for for young girls and stuff. You know, like what? Why do they have to do it so young?
I I don't have a fucking clue. So I've been going through if you want to have a bad time.
Tell me.
So the youngest member of Kepler is 16.
Okay, yeah, Yeso. Is that
Yeah,
her? Yeah.
is 16. The youngest member of Billy with 3 eyes is 15, Haruna. The youngest member of Stacy is 16.
God, I love Stacy.
I know, I do too, but it's like the youngest member of Ive is 14. The youngest member of
Mm.
N hyphen is 15.
No, and hyphen?
Yeah, dude.
They come out with like those songs like Fever. They're like oh my god.
There is a
That's
15-year-old in
insane.
that group. Treasure has a 16-year-old.
Do they even know what they're singing about? Like,
At
wouldn't it
that
be
age?
so weird if like the producer was like, "Hey, 15-year-old kid, put more sensualness into it." Like, doesn't that just seem so wrong? Like,
P1
feel it.
Harmony has 16-year-olds in it. I don't know if it has always been like this.
True, true.
Lightsum has a 15-year-old in it.
Okay, well, we know that like one of the most iconic figures of K-pop, G-Dragon, he started training when he was like what, like 7, 8, 9, 10, like around that age. Very, very young, like in grade school, you know, like elementary school kind of age. And that is already like very sad. And like now I'm pretty sure he's just like completely done with it, the whole industry, I think. I don't know, I haven't seen him in ages. Having to like start that young and stuff, like is so insane. And like I guess it sort of set a precedence as well, where it's like if you want to make it big, you have to be willing to sacrifice this. You have to be able to start young, and then like if you don't, then like you're probably gonna harbor some sort of resentment for your parents for not allowing you to do that, you know? And yeah, it's just upsetting.
I think this is weird, but I think that actually it might be more common historically to debut young boy group members. Although no, Hyuna was like 14 when she first debuted, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
She was in a
Very
few
young.
different groups. So she was young. Taemin is historically,
Yes.
he was 14 or 15 when Shiny debuted.
Yeah.
Jungkook from BTS was, I think, 15 when they debuted.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, how is this allowed?
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to make everything about privacy, but it's like so much about you is publicly available. Think of all like the Bangtan bombs and like all the
Mm-hmm.
YouTube videos that they started making. He was like 15 or 16 in those videos.
Yeah, because K-pop as an industry is designed to like do that, to create all this content, to like we said in the first installment of the series about like parasocial relationships, about like hooking people in and having them be loyal fans. I think that's why like it's like so especially wrong for like to have young people in this because like you're trying to sell them and their privacy to all these people and market it and stuff. And it's like
It's one thing if you're maybe our age and you kind of understand the
yeah.
sacrifices that you're making and like what the pressure is going to be like, although not really until you get there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, again, not to sound like an old lady, because obviously kids have social media and they'll like have Instagrams and a lot of people like know stuff about them. But I'm like, you are a child.
Mm-hmm.
You are a child and you're being sold as like this boyfriend or girlfriend fantasy. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're being marketed off of your innocence, and there's so much
Mm-hmm.
information about you that people know.
Looking at Western entertainment industry, I can think of like Billie Eilish. I don't know who else is like super young or something, but like she got she was thrusted into the limelight at a pretty young age as well. But it's obviously different because she's not like out there producing music videos of her like dancing and stuff. But I started following Billie Eilish when she was like 15, I think. I'm like the same age as her. In the beginning, I remember when her Instagram username was still like "Where are the avocados" or something, very cute. She was like wearing like a lot more like bodycon type of stuff, and then like immediately right after she got like that acclaim, she just switched it up to like those more loose fitting stuff. And I just think that she's very mature first of all, but I don't know, maybe I'm just saying that because I don't really know. But anyways, I think she has been able to kind of handle that quite well compared to a lot of other people, and just have a lot of privacy. And I think that privacy is one of the reasons why like she's like not really. I don't even know where I'm going with this.
I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in interviews she's also specifically said that she chose to wear more baggy clothes
Mm-hmm.
when she was underage because she knew that she was going to be objectified and she knew that
Exactly.
people were going to talk about her body.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I don't want to be gross, but we've all seen Billie Eilish now as an adult and she does have like big boobs, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
People objectify you immediately regardless of how old you are if you have big boobs.
Yep.
But I do want to say the Western entertainment industry has a little bit more of maybe an illusion of choice
Yeah, that's
when it
true.
comes to this. Like she still has to do what sells if she wants to remain a successful artist. But
Mm.
she has a little bit more choice. In K-pop, you're straight up given a stage outfit. This
Yeah.
is what you're wearing on
Yeah.
stage. You better hope there's a safety skirt. Sometimes there isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when
Mm-hmm.
Momoland was big and they were wearing those really fucking tiny shorts on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that's the thing is like at least like there's that idea of like choice and stuff, well, illusion of choice at least, but like like you can still make a lot of decisions for yourself, still try to keep a lot of your life private. But in K-pop it's like it's expected of you, like if you don't give up your privacy then you're just like not really sacrificing enough to be in the industry. It's like suck it up kind of thing.
So the general impression that I've got over a few years is that the older you are and the more like once you're more of an established artist or more of an established group member, you kind of get more of a say over what you do.
Mm.
And even maybe if you're known for like self-production like 17,
Mm-hmm.
you get more of a direct say in like the type of music that you're writing, what you want to do for your music video, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good example is Soren from CLC when they did Hobgoblin. The
True.
way she came in with like a full ass like 87-page PowerPoint and would like outlined what she wanted them to do and
Mm-hmm.
had to sell it to the company that way. But when you're like a new group, like a new girl group or a new boy group, you don't have a fucking choice in pretty much
Exactly.
anything.
You have to
Yeah,
earn the right to like have a voice.
right. You have to earn the right to have agency in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
you don't really get a much of a choice in stage outfits, and you don't really get a lot of choice in like the way again, this is like a small thing, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these girls and guys get their hair bleached so many
Mm.
times when they're children or when they're really young, and I don't know how any of them still have hair left.
I just don't know like whether or not the sacrifices made are just like worth it and also like necessary at all. But because of like all the precedences formed and like all of like the previous idols have done it, everyone does it now. It's like you're expected to do it. But also like why? Like is it really worth it?
I
Mm.
mean, we come out with a hard stance. I straight up don't think that any minor should ever be allowed to debut ever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see a child on stage in a tiny skirt or like lifting their shirt up to show their abs. I don't want to hear a 17-year-old sing to me about being in love or wanting to like bone a girl. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of it. And the
Mhm.
fact that they're still allowed to do it is honestly baffling to me.
Yeah, because the thing is, you could easily replace all these young people with like just people above 18 and it would still sound just as good. That in my opinion, because I care about the music first and foremost, both of us do. And I'm telling you, like if you like as much as I love some of these like voices and these people, the point is that if it's, just slightly older people doing it, it's probably still gonna sound pretty darn good. There still is a lot of talent out there in Korea who are just older.
And if you discover a young talent, I'm like, why not just keep them in the trainee system? It's
Mhm.
already there. Like, I
Mhm.
know that sucks for people if you don't get to debut at a super young age, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
But I'm like, you guys already have adults in the trainee system.
Yeah.
Why can't you, if you have a talent that you genuinely find from like auditions or whatever, just keep them until they're an adult? That's all I'm asking here.
Yeah. It's like just think of it as, something to do with legalities and like the law. Yeah, I just don't get why like the urgency. Is it like that capitalistic need to just like make money now? Is it because fans want to see young people? Not me, but
No, me either.
yeah.
Get out of here. I want hags back. I want old people.
I know. That's why our we are crowning girl group of the year is Brave Girls. Hello for being
Absolutely. Thank you
I
for your
know.
service.
Salute.
Or did you see
Yeah.
Tiara had to come back?
Really?
Yes.
I
And
need to be on
there
this.
were a few scenes in the music video that were fairly
Raunchy?
sexual in
Yeah.
nature or
I
just
mean,
like
they're allowed, I
vulgar.
guess.
You're an adult woman. It's like that's what I really liked about Exit in their later years. I'm like everyone here is over 24 or 25. Like they're choosing to do this for the most part.
Yes. Yes, I love A Pink as well. They're like elegant era, where they did like So Sick, Dum Da Da Dum, like yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to either. You don't have to be sexual to be a successful girl group. It doesn't one of the frustrations with the idea of like concepts is that there's either a cute concept or it's like a sexy concept or girl crush.
Right. Right,
It's like you
right.
can do a lot of different shit within both of those realms that's not necessarily repetitive. Like you
Yeah.
said, elegant. Like you don't have to be either taking your clothes off or like
I
wearing a little
know.
sailor's uniform in order to get
Right.
an reward.
Yeah. Not to sound like very, like conservative about this shit, but it's just like maybe someone should be a bit more conservative when it comes to K-pop.
If you are an 18-year-old or above, even 18 honestly is too young for me personally, but that's because I'm like
True.
old now. But like if
True.
you are like a legally consenting adult and you want to flash your abs on stage, go ahead. If you want to
Mm.
wear like a tiny crop top on stage, live your life.
Yeah.
Even if they're asked to do that and they don't like I mean, obviously I want everyone to be comfortable in what they're in. But you know what I mean? Like as
Mhm.
an adult that doesn't bother me. I just don't want to see children out there.
Yeah. And like the point is that like all of these like older groups doing it just goes to show that like old people or well they're not old at all but like older people. Oh my god, my laptop is actually going into overdrive. That's crazy. I don't know if you can hear it.
It's gonna explode.
Brave Girls, Tiara, and like A Pink, like Girls' Generation, even. I don't know. Like, it's clear that, and Boa, like they can do this. They're not like shriveled up and like unable to perform anymore or stuff like that. They're all still like very much talented and capable. So why don't you let them do it? Like, I'm sure a lot of them are like, oh, because we're burned out from, younger years anyway. But so then just debut them at an older age.
Yeah, don't start them when they're 14 and maybe they won't get burnt out by the time that they're 30.
Yeah, there's a reason why in today's more civilized society that we have like child protection laws where like, kids aren't supposed to work these full-time jobs and be burnt out and stuff. It's because we figured out it doesn't lead to a good life, you know? So, what's up with that? What's up with that? If you're a K-pop stan and you're hyping up super young kids and being like, "Oh my God, they're so young, so talented," then like rethink it. Rethink it. Think about
Don't
whether
do
or
that.
not you should hype that up. Yeah.
Don't do that. It's like I don't know. I don't know.
Like it feels bad because like as if like someone like a young K-pop idol were standing right in front of me now, would I have the heart to like tell them, "Well, you should just go back into the cage and come out later."
Right,
Like
you
of
shouldn't be
course
doing
like
this.
I know like they would be like heartbroken and they want to like go out like now. But it's like think about it, kid.
The reason why we have age of consent laws and why we have an illegal like a legal adult in the first place is that
Mhm.
we all have decided as a society that when you are a child, you cannot decide what's in your best interest. You cannot decide to have sex with someone, like, you cannot decide to have sex with an adult when you are a child because you don't really understand the consequences of what you're doing. You cannot decide to work when you're 11 or 12 because you don't really know what you're signing up for.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And just like the overworking of these idols too, like we
Yeah.
said it twice. I just
Yeah. Like we are not in like I don't know the 17th century or something. We can live to be 100 and something now. Look at Queen Elizabeth. Look at Betty
yeah, she
White.
won't die. I keep trying to kill her with my psychic powers and she
Stop.
won't
No.
go.
Allegedly. We have come to a place where we can live for a long, long time. We're not in like some kind of medieval age where people die at age like 30, okay? So like it's fine. We're not in a rush. All right? Why do we need so much all the time? Like we need a debut, a new group, fresh faces, new songs, young people, and never before seen individuals. I think that's one of the things about debuting young kids too, is that they're new. They get to belong completely to the fans. You know what I mean? Because like if they're older, then it's like they've lived through more life. But if you're younger, then fans get to live that life with you and be that formative thing for you. You
I
know?
don't get that at all, but I
Yeah,
believe
me
you.
neither. But yeah, that's what I think.
Maybe it's some aspect of like family that people are trying to see too in
Mm,
K-pop groups, like the idea that there's a really young member and then the older members kind of take care of them.
right. Which is
Which
like
I'm like,
asking a lot from the other members, but
I mean, I get it, but come on. Like I remember a Red Velvet interview
yes,
because Yuri was I think 14 or 15,
a
maybe 15 or
child.
16 when they debuted, right? And I mean, she talked about in interviews, Irene, the oldest member, would literally like make her lunch, like wake
Mhm.
her up, take her to
Mhm.
school, like wash her clothes for her, that kind of shit. And it's like, yeah, because if you're not living with your parents, you're still a child.
Yeah.
And you have like this child in your group and you guys are all living together and you're like, fuck, someone's got to take care of this kid.
Yeah, it's asking for a lot actually.
How are you supposed to go to school? Like the kid who's in 8th grade and he's going to debut in a year. How are you supposed to go to school?
14-year-olds are just so young.
They're
And
not
I
even in
don't
high school
know.
yet in America.
That's the conclusion of this episode, I guess.
So, in summary, we are for not debuting children in any group at all
Yeah.
because of the potential for objectification and sexual exploitation when you're a minor,
Yeah.
the lack of privacy in the
Mhm.
concept of like there's a lot more information about you as a child than you might be aware of as a child or making those
Mhm.
decisions.
Yeah.
Overworking, like the potential for getting overworked, the potential for neglecting their education because all these kids are still supposed to be in school.
Mhm.
The
And your health
potential
as well. In terms of
mental
like
health,
losing weight and stuff too.
right. And the stress on developing bodies. If you're
Mhm.
14, you're still going through puberty a lot of times. And that's a lot of
Mhm.
changes, again, on a person who is also under the stress of being a professional idol. Just being in the public eye that long, I know I sound old, but I'm like, that can't be good for you.
That's very true. I agree. I guess that's it for this episode. Do you want to share anything like songs, groups, fun
Bring old
stuff?
people back.
That's like the slogan. Yeah, bring old people back. But yeah, I think that concludes our episode. Would you like to say goodbye? Bid our listeners adieu.
Goodbye, you fucks. Goodbye, you beautiful people that are here for Claudia and Claudia
No.
alone. I will be back by unpopular demand. I cannot be killed. I will never die.
Yeah, that's
And my
very
psychic
true.
energy continues to erode the lives of many political figures who I am targeting for astral projection assassination.
This is so bizarre.
You